Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another pep talk. PEP, passionately empowering people. Today's topic is raise the roof. Raise the roof. You're gonna have to raise the roof. It's time to raise the roof. It's time to push through that proverbial glass ceiling. Whatever's holding you back, whatever's slowing you down, whatever's got you stuck, it's like you can see what you want, you see where you want to be, and even if you can't see where you want to be, you're going to have to break through the ceiling, that glass ceiling that's holding you back. So if you got to get a hammer, if you got to kick it, if you got to throw a rock at it, push through it so you can get to the other side. Now, I heard someone explain it like this. Not every slave on the plantation wanted to be free, believe it or not. Even though the slave plantation had its hardships, its whips, and its chains, to them, the comfortableness of being on the plantation was better than the fare of becoming free. And I don't know what kind of person you are, but me, I'm the kind of person that wants to be free. You're going to have to cut off my toes, my foot, my leg, cut me in half, and I'll drag the top half to freedom. I'm that kind of guy. Now, when I heard that story, that scenario put that way, it really resonated with me. I said, that's me. I want to be free. I have to you got to take time out to realize if you are a slave and what are you a slave to? And then honestly, do you want to be free? Do you need to be free? You got to ask yourself those questions. Me, I want to be free. I'll drag the top half to freedom, whatever it takes. Decide, do you want to be free? Decide today and say, hey, I want to be free. Now, we all know that Harriet Tubman freed thousands of slaves, and she would have freed thousands more, had they only knew that they were slaves. Now, how was she able to free the slaves? Because Harriet Tubman raised the roof. She raised the roof. She determined that whatever price she had to pay in order to be free, she was going to pay that price. And she was not only going to pay it for herself, but she was going to show other people, hey, you could be free too. You do not have to settle for what's going on in your life right now. Even though you are being forced to do whatever, or you may feel like you're being forced to do whatever, you have the power to change everything around you. But it starts right here. How do you do it? Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So even though the storm may be raging around you, you have the power to calm the storm. You have the power to be free, to break through that ceiling that's holding you back, that's slowing you down, that's keeping you stagnant. But you got to make a decision in order to do that. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. And you're going to have to get rid of the excuses. I'm too tired. Or such and such is going on. My health issues. I got to do this. I got to do that. Let's get rid of the reasons. And let's figure out a way to do it. Let's figure out a way to break through that glass ceiling. And you just got to make up your mind and say, hey, I'm going to make it happen no matter what. No matter what, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get my freedom. And everybody's freedom is going to be a little different. Whatever it is, whatever, you got to figure out what that is, and you got to determine what your why is. Your why is what's going to get you up every morning and keep you going late at night in order to get to the destination you are traveling. So get rid of the reasons. Now, there's a terminology that I've come to know called the 97% versus the 3%. 97% of the population is employed by 3% of the population. Now, why is that? I'll tell you why. It's by design. It's by design. The masses are employed by the successful people who have broken through that proverbial glass ceiling and said, enough is enough. I want to head in a different direction, and I want a better life for me and my family, and I'm going to make it happen no matter what. Those are the 3%ers. They make it happen. They don't come up with excuses of why not. All those same excuses that they use, that common people use for why not, why they can't do it, are the same reasons why the successful people in the world say I can. That's exactly why I'm doing this. So figure out what your why is. Now, Horace Mann, I did a little research. Horace Mann, back in the mid 1800s, he pushed for his idea of common schools in Massachusetts. And once he got it approved and brought into reality, it kind of spread like wildfire throughout the United States. Now, his idea was to have common schools free and affordable for all children in order to give them a basic knowledge. So common schools, basic knowledge. So what does that equal? Common schools equals common knowledge equals common people doing what common people do. What do? Just enough to get by. Are you doing just enough to get by? There's more in you than you've been expressing. So how do you tap into the more in you that's in you? How do you tap into that? You got to raise the roof. You've got to raise the bar on yourself. You got to raise your standards. If you've been living below your potential, it's time to raise the roof and raise your standards and start pushing for that person that you see on the other side of that glass ceiling that's holding you back. How are you going to do that? You're going to have to stop doing what common people are doing. Stop doing what 97% of the population is doing. You got to stop it. Cut it out. And you got to look and see what is everybody else doing that I may be doing that's keeping me from achieving my goals or being what you determine to be happy or successful in life. And you got to determine what all that is for you, what that means for you. Stop doing what the common people do. One great writer said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dull by having the estate look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. And I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. That is a uncommon state of mind. Not everybody has that state of mind right now because they've been accustomed to the common basic way of thinking, which brings forth the common and basic way of living. Let me tell you something. You were born not only to win, but to be rich, to have an exciting life, to have an extraordinary life. But you've got to raise your standards. You got to raise what you consider to be acceptable in your life. And don't settle for less. And don't allow anybody else to bring you down in the opposite direction of where you headed. Some people you're going to have to leave by the wayside. Calculate them as dead weight, or recognize who or what they might be and just drop them off. Because you can't afford to try to drag somebody or something where you're going that's not serving any real value or purpose in your life. If it's not helping you to grow and challenging you to be better than you was yesterday, get rid of it. Get rid of them. Raise your standards. You are powerful beyond measure because you were made in God's image. So if you're made in the image of God, you got to start seeing yourself that way. How does God see you? God sees you being like him, powerful beyond measure, able to move mountains, able to heal, able to be healed, But it starts by the renewing of your mind and breaking through that proverbial glass ceiling. You are made to soar above all the mess that's going on around you. But you've got to spread your wings so you can soar. You got to spread those wings so you can be free. You can be bold, be beautiful, and be free. But you got to make a decision today to raise the roof. Raise the roof and don't settle for less. Listen, that's my time. Once again, I'm working on a financial freedom movement. I'm aligned with some very, very wealthy business owners and entrepreneurs who are serious about raising the roof and teaching other people how to raise the roof and raise their standards so that they can have a better quality of life. If that's you, if you're tired of being a slave on the plantation, if you are tired of the whips and the chains that you've been accustomed to, give me a call. Let's talk. I'll be glad to share the information with you. I'll be glad to introduce you to some very wealthy people, successful people who are helping me and a lot of other people break the chain, break the vicious cycle that's been keeping us from getting on the other side of that glass ceiling to reach the height of our true potential. If that's you, if you're serious about it, give me a call, shoot me a text, 901-646-1393, or just type in a message right below and say, hey, more info. Shoot me an inbox. Say, hey, we need to get together. Listen, that's my time. As always, I'm passionately empowering people, and don't forget to live for today and plan for tomorrow.